All right. What's up, everybody? It's been a little bit, but we're kind of getting back into the swing of things and working production with Web's Grainworks. And you can see kind of like what we have going on right here on my extended workbench, which is nothing but a fold-out table that I put on top of a regular workbench because I have a couple laser systems. And whenever I need extra space, I just put this thing out so I can work it. And so we're working on tap panel production for a intricate tap panel and a non-intricate tap panel. And so we're using the Xtool F1, which you can see over there. It's like last thing we were doing for webs was actually like engraving Moscow Mule mugs. And they actually turned out really, really well. Um, and it just so happened that, my my computer um, was just being a power hog and kept randomly shutting off, which is what we ran into last time. And so it's like you can see them being washed out by some lights over here a little bit. But yeah, so my computer was being a power hog and it was overdrawing from what the power supply can handle with some of the upgraded components that I put into it. And I'm like a fan of MSI computers, but it's like that's maybe a topic for another time. Um, and so I ended up having to import a new power supply that can go up to 780 watts in order to make sure that I'm not going to like crush the computer or what I'm trying to do from a streaming perspective. So, and speaking of stream, I have not logged into the chat. So who knows if everybody's in the chat? I mean, at this point, I really, if somebody's in the chat, cool. If somebody's not in the chat, cool. Um, I'll pop it over here in just a second, just to make sure that if anybody does hop in and have questions, happy to support them. But yeah, so we're working on some Web's Grainwork tap handles. And as a local spirits distiller and brewery that's here in Aliso Viejo, like some sad news from Gamecraft Brewing Company that their main location is getting shut down in October, and it's like disheartening for me because it's like, man, I've poured some heart and soul into it, but it's also the foundation of where I kind of like started jumping down the rabbit hole of like actually doing tap handle production, and so it's kind of near and dear to my heart, and it's hard to see them close down their main location. But they've got a couple of satellite facilities, and I'm hoping that those stay good for the time being. Um, my because I got some free barrels of beer from them, but man, there's been a lot of sweat equity and a lot of late evening hours in the garage perfecting one of these tap handle designs, which we're actually working on laser engraving right now. And these tap handle designs are like tried and true for multiple breweries now. And so, call it my alma mater. I don't know. Anyway, let's pull up the chat if anybody's on the chat, but I highly doubt it. Let's see. Ooh, there's me. Ooh, I've got 24. I'm up to 24 subscribers. What? Okay, let me mute my sound. Highly, highly doubt it. There we go. Boop. And let's pop the chat out. Pop the chat out. Chat over here. Close. Yeah, so I got the chat popped out. But as you can see inside what we got going on is up here I've got Xtool Creative Space, and I've been using Xtool products for a while. It just pains me because it's like the calibration red dot laser on my F1 failed, and I've been in contact with Xtool support, and it's like I can repair these things. I can tear it down to the frame if I needed to, and go through and figure out what's going on and go and get that replaced. But it's like Xtool support just has not been there for me. Um, Especially when looking at it, like, look, dudes and dudettes, I can repair this thing. It's like, oh, it's too highly technical. It's like, it really is not. I mean, it really isn't. So what we're working on is we're working on doing some side engraving for our Webs Grainworks standard handles and really intricate pattern work that we got from Mark Levine over there. And Mark, fantastic human being to work with, and really happy with the results we have coming out on these tap handles. But yeah, if you ever come over to Aliso Viejo, California, say you're visiting Disneyland, like stop by Web's Grainworks in Aliso Viejo and check it out because we're turning product for them. So I'm just happy. It makes me happy because I mean I'm all about helping small businesses, helping local small businesses, and again, it kind of pains me about GameCraft and how GameCraft shut down. So, but yeah, we're gonna run the laser quite a bit more throughout the evening because I've got two sides to work on this. Make sure it's filling out and running good. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go pull some cold frosted cool beverages here at midnight 08 on Wednesday, 17th September. And it's September because it's like every day in September I have to like get a little workout in and get a little sweat on. As 45-year-old me doesn't have the 20-year-old body of yesteryear by 2 decades. But man, I do love to have my evening libations. And right now it's like I've actually transitioned away from having some of the heavier beers, and I'm been sipping on a hard seltzer from GameCraft, which is called Cosmonaut. And Cosmonaut is a cranberry lime hard seltzer. Really actually refreshing by comparison to some of the heavier, pale ales or ales in general. So, and like one of these days, I should probably hook up my Extra F1 to some sort of filter. But I mean, it's no worse than Iraq or Afghanistan in the summertime. So, right now we're working handle out, handle in, ready to go. We'll flip the sides, and then we'll work on getting the posts set for production. Yeah, Web's Grainworks been really fun projects to work on just because it's like the Moscow Mule engraving took a little bit of trial and error to get it nailed down right. But once we had it nailed down, it was pretty easy to work with. So, and so we've got a couple more handles to go. A few of these I may actually, one of them I know has a Web's Grainworks logo engraved into the side. Yeah, there it is right there. But now, if you ever want to know about the X12 F1 and its capabilities, let me put it in front of the camera, get some light on it. There. That's like the Web's Grainworks logo engraved. And that thing's fantastic for how small it is. That's basically 1.25 inches by 1.25 inches. And the fidelity is really on point. I can get it up there and in front of the camera, but I don't have enough light. That's enough. We'll call it there. So yeah, Mark, if you jump on here and take a look, I mean, so I'm going to send you one. It's going to be like a Web's Grainworks logo engraved on one side of this thing, and I kind of go from there. And you sneak the logo in some other spots. I don't know yet. But yeah, really fun project to work on for Web's Grainworks. And so if you guys have like local brewers that are in need of manufacturing or whatever, it's like, I just love tinkering. I love design work. I love hanging out in my garage and just sipping on some cold beverages in the evening times because why not? I'm literally idea out of the camera down to show the X tool a little bit more. I am kind of bummed about the X tool though. I mean, the F1 has been great. I've used, and I don't know that I have like a total of like 1,000 hours on it, but I've got quite a few $100 of use on it. And to have the red spotting laser die out on me for the calibration, make sure your height and offset are set right. To have that thing go out and then be like, so the response that I got from X Tool was just like kind of shocking. Where it's like, well, we can give you a coupon so you can buy a new machine, or we can give you a coupon to like buy a refurbished machine, or oh, this is gonna be way too expensive for you to just go and repair. It's like, just send me the equipment, send me the replacement boards, and I'll fix it myself. But I don't think they're used to working with clientele that, work at a company where, or even have the capability to do some of those things on their own. But, it's hard to say. I'm not X Tool, but I was, and I'm actually enrolled in their program for showcasing these products along with repairing some of these products, which isn't difficult, yet does require a little bit of technical know-how and some patience. So, I don't know. I gotta craft a response and throw it back over to SDU. So, external support, but I'm just having fun, for lack of a better term. So, yeah, but Web's great where it's like, fun projects to work on. Kind of stuff like here and then you see that beautiful intricate work. We have three different types of things that are being cut into the side of a Matter Hacker's Tough Trio A half handle. I'm going to set the post in here a little bit. And once we get the other side layers engraved, and then get these out the door and ready for use wherever WebScreenWorks wants to put them in. So off the side, because that's like the unique one. And I gotta add some of this onto like the web page. Link this and do all the search engine optimization and everything that everybody has to do in order to try to make some money that I really don't care about, because I just want to have fun and have a cold drink in the garage while I work on projects in the evening time, because that's what it's all about. I want to start working on like some whiskey drinking tables again. And it's like, I enjoy making like woodworking projects and making tables. And so I want to get back into making some whiskey tables with deep pour resin epoxy and shell casings from weapon systems, and really incorporate that back into like, whiskey drinking artwork or beer drinking artwork. That's something that's like useful. I don't want something that hangs up on a wall. I want like free things that people use on a daily. But no, really enjoy working on the garage. Try to turn that into negative, have a $1 or two. Nice. Maybe the channel will be famous. I don't know. I don't have time to do like voiceovers or pre-prepared scripting. My name's Nick. I'm here to paint. I'm here to work. I've got ideas and determination and an unwitting level of drive or success. Oh, I need to hook the paddle back up so I don't have to wait over. I can just sit here and sip and just push a foot paddle. Have the foot paddle start. But yeah, what's great about this is, once you have the process and procedures down, it becomes fairly seamless as you work through the workflow. It's like there's a couple days where we involve 3D printing. I mean, if we were running a clock, it goes back to a couple days of design work to get everything situated, especially with the tri-face handles, which is what we have kind of these components set for. That tri-face handle is set so it's on a very specific taper angle with 3 face plates that will interface seamlessly with no gap spacing to make a tall, ornate 3-sided handle with 3 face plates. And so, really fun project to work on with that one. And I did capture some of the video from that previously. And we're ready. We have that one in the production assistance right now. But for these basic tab panels, it's like we're lazy engraving these in so we have a lot of interest, a little bit more intricacy. But these are the ones that aren't going to be at the distillery or the brewery. These are the ones that are going forward with the their distribution channel. So, and really happy to kind of support that distribution channel because I think it's fun, and especially when you are a garage maker and you can go out there and you can see that, oh my goodness, that's something that I have created out of my garage that is now found out in the wild. And it's like, my claim to fame is the tap handles that we produced for a couple different brewers and distillers that are in Disneyland. And it's like, man, I cannot believe that there's things that I have made that are inside Disneyland. And you know what? I am just a good old down in Marine Corps infantryman at the end of the day. But be that as it may, I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. So I hope all of you infantrymen out there can follow this exact same passion, like create something awesome out of it that doesn't tie back to like taxpayer or government dollars. Like make something on your own that you can sell into a completely different industry that's completely unique, and then where that lands you, who cares? Have fun doing it. Because that's what I do. I have fun doing it. As soon as we start getting ready to get into the second side of the basic handles, we'll probably pull a torch out, and then once we pull a torch out, we'll start torching the posts in. In fact, I gotta start working on some post-processing for that. So we're gonna change the camera over as I get ready to pull some of those feeds in while we do it. So we're gonna be torching, setting, attaching, gluing, and getting it ready to get out the door. And so there's some cleanup work on some of the tap panels that need to be easily done. So, but I'll come at a later time and date. I'm just going to get ready because this is the last one for the initial go. I've got some somewhere that I don't remember. There's the one that's the webs one, but yeah. And so we got a couple that already have the posts in them. We got quite a few that don't. And we're going to get them all kind of across the finish line today and this evening so I can drop them off at WebScreen Works before I have to jam out for some other happenings over the next couple days. still working in the garage just for some other clients, help some other projects that we have in the works. So, and I get back into doing some more design work and getting some products put up onto the GC3D website. If you don't know, it's like GarageCraft Ed. By Ed, I mean GarageCraft 3D. That's the name of the website, and it's 3D not just because it is three-dimensional that we're printing, it's because it's three methodologies in manufacturing. It's 3D printing and additive manufacturing as the primary base, with CNC being the secondary base, with laser cutting and engraving as being the third base. So it's three methodologies of manufacturing supporting kind of a holistic workflow. And so there we go. There is, let's see, 5, 10, 13 handles that are done, minus the one that had a thing. But I'm not too worried about the thing as it stands right now. And then what we'll do here is we'll go back over to Xtool Creative Space. We're going to go down to our second canvas. I'm just going to go ahead and just delete that. Grab all of this stuff. That's left center. Okay, so, and what we did here is we set this one. So this one, I believe we're looking at a set where the width is 33 mil. And so what we're going to do is for the other one is we're going to grab everything and we're going to go ahead and set the width, which is currently 27.08 to 33 mil. And then we're going to go ahead and make sure that comes up, and we're going to flip-flop back and forth between our two canvases to make sure that they're, again, approximate in location. And it looks like I need to move these guys down and move it over. And we're going to check kind of that vertical run. And so we have up here our X and our Y coordinates. So we have 1.9 on the Y, 49.25 on the X. So 1.9, so we're going to come up here and we're going to do 1.9. That's going to move it up so it's on the exact same vertical height. And then we need to check now on the system itself, on the Xtool, that it is going to be good. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our plate, we're going to flip our plate over 180 to 180 degrees, and grab our first handle, and set it in our placement jig, which is nothing but screws, which is fine. And we're going to work positioning. So for positioning, I'm going to go over here to the framing. I'm going to work framing. And once I have the framing started, I'm going to work alignment. So generally for this, it's going to be highlighting the graphic itself. And I'm just going to use arrow keys in order to get it into the position that I want. And what's interesting is the first couple that I ran, I wasn't too concerned about kind of the breakover angle between the front plate and the side laser engraving. And so we're going to really nickel and dime that down. So make sure that the laser engraving is commensurate with the breakover curvature, which is very, very hard to notice until you actually touch one of these handles, that it's on those surfaces. I didn't do the best job of like capturing it, but you know, that's fine. So that looks pretty spot on as it stands right now. So we're just going to go ahead and run this first one. Making sure that the surface doesn't kiss. And we have a little bit, okay. I should back that up. Tap. One tap should be good, and then puts it right. We'll back it off one more, and so literally we're just working like we're working eyeball alignment right now. Lower that as much as I can without coming into interface. And then we're going to set the parameters. And so right now we're running at 90% power at 250 millimeters a second. Single pass on 100 lines per centimeter and bidirectional, which means this can be like a zip, 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 which is fine. It goes really, really quick. So we're going to stop framing. I'm going to go ahead and go right to process and go right into the next batch of engravings. Let's see how it turns out. Okay, so we're running the last laser engraving in reverse order. Yeah, so it's like, but kind of the premise for like a lot of these tab panels are, so, it's like if I'm making tab panels for, a brewery, if I'm making tab panels for a client, or I'm making tab panels for a one-off, it doesn't matter. Whoever the client is, they're going to get some sort of laser engraving into that tab panel because it's cool. And it's actually really cool, the level of interest and detail you can get in some of these tab panels. I know I should probably wear an aspirator and everything else, but all right. So we look at this one real quick. And so this one, I'll turn the light and try to see it. And see that during the center pane. There's the latest side that we just engraved. Right? And the opposite side. There's a good shadow right there. And this shows like different types of grains. They're used for web scramblers for their distilling or brewing. A little bit of malt, a little bit of wheat, a little bit of corn. All good things. But yeah. And so we're going to go ahead and start getting our posts and everything situated. So I'm happy with how the product's turning out as it stands so far. And then we can kind of go from there. But very, very cool pattern. So Mark Levine over at Webb's Grainworks, I salute you because that's pretty darn cool. Okay. Well, the one thing I got to find is I got to find out where my bit of boosts and pharaohs. But out a hot minute. I think this is it, which it is. All right. Hanging bolts and ferrules. So for these, a torch, heat, pliers, and just pure me development question mark. I don't know. I figure how I'm gonna set this so I can do it right without impeding the video. That might work, or we can just kind of like show, holistic workflow. Enjoy doing this stuff. It's fun. And I'm by no means a professional. I'm a 100% amateur, self-proclaimed astronaut, and tap handle artist. But tap handle artistry is quite the fun venture to get into, if I say so myself. So, and go right into production for the next ones. Before I start that, we're going to go ahead and strike up our fire. Hopefully I still got some gas, which I do. We don't need a whole lot of it, but we just need enough in order to get the posts warmed up before we move it into the base. So I've got my torch. I've got a set of pair of pliers. We're actually going to turn that off so I save some gas, because I got to get some of these couplers and everything established. So what I found in the past is that when I'm setting these, if I don't have the ferrocoupler ready to be attached to the tap handle, that the post that is being heated retains too much temperature and then starts to degrade the plastic around it. Whereas these ferrocouplers, which are these guys right here, these ferrocouplers act as fantastic heat sinks in order to pull the temperature out of the post. The post can then cool and have the material that the tap handle is printed in solidify around it, thus locking it in place. And so it's really cool and fun to work on, but I need a trash can because I'm making a lot of plastic and garbage, unfortunately. But that's kind of my whole thing, is plastic, yet not garbage. And so I would love to be able to turn this into like kind of a recycling project of using plastic to create something new. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So I say 5 that are already set. We're done with these ones, except for the second set of laser engraving. But 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6. I need one more. We'll get the commensurate number of posts out so we can ensure that our production flow is not interrupted. And again, by all means, am I no sort of production voodoo wizard or mathematician voodoo wizard or any sort of other voodoo wizard. My name's Nick. I'm here to paint. I create some fun and cool stuff. And that's all that I claim to be. So 5, 7, 8. I think I've been like through a total of 200 of these ferrocouplers and adapters so far. Which again is kind of fun, because it goes to show that there is opportunity and capability. So we're going to go ahead and set these guys down. And we're going to go back into production. So laser's ready. Strike up the torch. Get that set to commensurate temperature. And so when I set these things, I set them basically on a set of pliers. I flush it out on the bottom. We start our next laser job. I heat this up for 8 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And yes, I count to myself because that's what I do. And then we're going to go ahead and thread the post onto the tap handle. As soon as the post is solidified down to the base of where the pliers is at, that's us an approximate distance. So we can then thread the coupler on, take the feet out, and that's finished tap handle. Go ahead and set my next one, get it ready. And as soon as this tap handle comes off the laser engraver, it's going straight to heat, straight to the torch, straight to the threading. And we're looking at making sure that we just roll through each one of these tap handles as quickly and as efficiently as possible. That one's out. And it's all cross again. Start. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And sometimes you wonder, it's like, man, I should just kissed it with a little bit of a fire for a little bit longer. That happens from time to time, but that's fine. The biggest thing is once it is set, is getting this coupler, the ferro couplet on there in order to start pulling heat out of it. I should have got my foot pedal. This foot pedal makes it quite a big flicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Basically, we're just warming up the post so the thermoplastic will conform to the melting temperature of it. And then once that is set, we're gonna put the coupler on there to pull the excess heat out of it. And once that's done, we'll go back through and we'll pull the coupler off. We'll go ahead and grab a little bit of adhesive or Gorilla Glue or something else that's going to be both metal and polymer binding. I want to make sure that the barrel won't backspin off the tap end after use. It's like it's going so efficiently right now. I think I have time to go grab another drink real quick. Like, woo, lordy. And then some of these don't require too much extra as it stands right now. The posts on 5 of them already, so It's more so just getting throughput ready, and then we'll go ahead and start applying the posts and the couplers to the triphase versions and have some of those ready for delivery over to Web Frameworks. Then I gotta get going and everything stuff. As much as I enjoy this, I also like pulling a little bit of side hustle money because we want it. And that pays for my family to go to Disneyland. That pays for like some free cervezas, maybe help fund part of our summer family trip next year once the girls are out of school. There's lots of options to get into, but what most concerns me was making sure that the folks over at Web Frameworks are happy with the product that is coming out of Garage Craft or Garage Crafted, because that's who and what we are. We are also a family-run and oriented business, and near that where we started at GameCraft Running is shutting down the primary operation. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to the day where I can land a major client that's like, wow, you guys create some cool product. Create some cool products. How can our cool products fall into your load flow or view flow for that matter? But one can hope and dream. We got 3 more to go for the ones that are not pre-threaded. The pliers do get a little toasty though after a while. That's fine. Yeah. And one of the things that I really do like about how, like, we've worked on simplifying this is I don't need anything extravagant. I've worked in just like the brewers or the breweries artwork and just using their already creative solutions to work the manufacturing angle to create them something that's going to fit within what their branding looks like, what their opportunities look like, what the clientele looks like, to make sure that, the products that we're putting forth are going to meet their clients' expectations. If there are clients that are out that want a customized thing, that at least there's a trusted partner within the industry that can do it. So, cheers to you all. Let us know at GC3D how we can assist in your production goals. Because I'm not hiding anything. And I put most of it live. Because I believe in transparency. Well, um, Look at how awesome this is. We got lasers going. We've got fire going. We've got garage ingenuity going. There are so many wonderful things happening right now. I can hardly contain myself. Luckily for these next ones, we don't have to worry too much about the turn time. And this is the last one that we're working with the torch. Get that locked down. And so the next process. And so that's one thing that I find funny about YouTube channels. YouTube channels don't show you the exact, oh my gosh, this is how much time that it takes. This is what the turn time is per part of component. How can we make it profitable? Hey, all I gotta say is like some profit's better than no profit, just saying. I'm such a terrible human being. I feel weird doing it with this hand because it should be this hand. It should be this hand. Mm. Well, so the good news about these last couple ones is literally, now that we have the torch stuff done, we're just going to go part in, part out. Then turn off our torch, let that cool down, put that down here. Out of the way where nobody's going to bump into it. And that's ever happened before. All right. Yeah, we we put out some pretty good product here in the garage. And nothing that is Fortune 500 quality. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it does deserve to be in the Fortune 500 industry. But man, when you look at some of the quality that you can get out of just like tuning here in the garage and playing around and finding a product and an industry to product match or product to industry match, and then literally running with it. Anybody on the private spectrum that is into this, good on you. And my hope is that, well, not really hope. I hope that the conflict never comes back to the United States, but, should it come back to the United States, that those that have these capabilities will be willing to assist and support the defense of our nation against a hostile actor. And that's probably going to get me flagged on YouTube for saying something like that because I'm a patriot. Oh, man, and it just pains me because it's like, right now it's Sweat-tember. And Sweat-tember to me is, it's a couple fold. It's one, understanding the sacrifices of those that have lost their lives, but also just making sure that I'm doing my due diligence as a human with the body that I've been given to maintain it in the best accord that I can. But it sucks because it's like, man, when I was out running the other day, I mean, I guess it doesn't suck. I feel obliged. Is this little guy fell off somebody's vehicle, was a little window. I was able to rescue it from the side of the road. And then this little guy, which looked like some sort of attachment to a truck receiver, I was also able to rescue. And they have now found a wonderful home here in this patriotic garage to make sure that they are respected appropriately. And so, if you guys find American flags that are in need of replacement, or if there is something you find on the side of the road, please pick it up and respect it with the respect that it's due. But I don't know. These look great. Like absolutely phenomenal. I'm really happy with the results right now. I just hope that our clients over at Web Screen Alerts feel the same way. I'll go get some more hard seltzer off the cake. Okay. Oh, sorry. I did not mean to do that. But yeah, a bunch of microplastics getting pushed into the sinuses, so clear that out from time to time. Oh, well, I mean, if you know, nobody's in the live chat, but if anybody has a comment, by all means, feel free to jump in and drop a comment. I'm gonna do some post setting for some of the other handles for the 2-part and 3-part designs for Web Screen Works, and I think that our basic handle is literally a really good candidate without need of modification or adjustment. But that's me tooting my own horn because to get to this little design, sorry, to get to this little design, took quite a bit of back and forth with, Gamecraft Brewing Company, which near and dear to my heart, and it just pains me that they're shutting their doors to their principal flagship location. But, I'm going to continue to support them in any way that they need because, again, they're family to me. And I am fiercely devoted to family. Fiercely devoted. This last laser engraving job of the night has just started, which means that the garage stinkiness will be going down. That's fine. And I'm looking forward to that. Damn. Now it is midnight 57, 17th September, 2025. All right. One, two, three, four. Oh, that's right. This was the one that is the, we're not gonna worry about this one. The one I'm talking about is the one with the web screen where it's logo, emblazoned into the side. Well, we'll work out that one. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll probably just end the video for the evening here, as I'm in a position where we're just working the torch, and then set the torch to the posts, and then attaching the tri-sides to each of the units. The tri-sides are really, really cool, though, and I do have to say, if you take a look at one of the tri-sides, and if you look at some of the previous videos, we have a taff handle, the post, and the ferrule coupler going here in the bottom. Then we have these canalized grooves, and these canalized grooves have both a lower attachment and then a 100% seamless requisite upper attachment for the taff handle, where you can take one of the front plates, slide the front plate all the way through, and then take an upper plate and slide the upper plate in order to meet what Web Screenworks was looking. And I just wish I could do a little bit better. The detail work that's required here is just a little much for what 3D printing can do right now. But if you take a sticker and you overlay it on here, the whole handle is going to be the same between all three sides with a seamless. Come on. A seamless interlocking design. So this is the level of detail and engineering that, that comes out of a garage. Because why not? Why not over-engineer a tap handle for production to support a local brewery? Because, man, I love me some microbrewers, and I'm happy with it. Anyway, yeah, Nick from the quote-unquote late-night garage, seeing that it is 1:01 in the morning on 17 September. We'll catch you next time.